What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Transformers Kingdom Commander Class Rodimus Prime. So this is kind of an interesting figure because it's in the Commander Class range, which previous figures we got there are Jetfire, Skylynx, other bigger figures like that. This one's a little bit smaller, although the trailer is very large. The actual vehicle mode is closer to Voyager class that we currently have from the Kingdom line. But let's take a look at this vehicle. Here's the car mode. You've got the orange paint here, yellow paint. That looks really nice. Yellow paint on the headlights, Tampa Autobot logo, yellow and orange here, and then yellow and orange on the tail. That looks good. Silver here on the pipes. You do have feet on the back. That's just kind of the way it transforms. Overall, it looks really nice. It does roll really smoothly. My surface isn't flat here, but it does roll nicely on those wheels. You do have some effects parts here, so you have these black, they're just completely black. It would have been better if it was actually translucent, but those can fit onto the tailpipes there. And he can be driving down the road, putting out some pollution with his black smoke. So there you go. You can also take this sword, which we'll see more in the robot mode, but there's two little slots there. They're going to tab into the bottom of the foot here. And it still rolls, even with that down there. You can take the gun here. It will peg in here, but it's not that secure. You can also take it folded up like this. It's meant to tab in the top here, but it doesn't really tab in that securely. But anyway, that's going to tab into the side here on the vehicle mode, like that. And unfortunately, you can't have it extended. You can have it extended backwards, but not forwards. Would have made more sense to be forwards. But there you go for all the accessories. You can mount it on there. Now, if we take those off, and we can leave this one here, we can combine it with the trailer here. So here's a trailer. This one tends to pop open a little bit. If I leave it, you can see that. The trailer itself has quite a few features. Actually, before we combine it, let's take a look at the features. So this door opens up. It's got some nice pistons there, actual working pistons. That's cool. You can open up this door here on the back. And you've got storage in there. That's really cool. Down on the bottom, you have a storage here. So that'll slide out. And you get a little tray here. You can take that out. And in here, you can put away these blast effects or smoke effects. And you can also put away the matrix effect, which we're not going to look at until we get to robot mode, so you might as well put it in here anyway. There you go. And that'll just slide back in. You could probably put a few other things in here. I don't know. It's pretty full at this point. So I'll slide that back in here. You can also throw stuff in the back of the trunk here, so you do get a whole bunch of weapons effects here. Just tons of stuff. I think they threw in a lot of stuff because of the price point, but you can put these back here to give him like boost effects on his trailer. I don't know. But you can also take these things and just stuff them in here, and they can just store back there. I don't know if it'll actually close with all that in there. Let's see. No, it won't quite close. So probably take this one out, and you can put the rest in there, and that'll stow away. You also have another storage compartment up here. It's crazy. That doesn't fit in there. I don't know what fits in there. Probably some of these blast effects, but either way, you can store all of them away somewhere in this trailer. One of those three locations, here, here, or in the front here. So if we take all that stuff off, we'll set that aside for now. You can also open up this here on the top, kind of like Optimus Prime's trailer. We'll close this up here. And you can drive a vehicle into here if you want to. Me personally, I'm just going to leave it like that. And here you can take this out, and this is a separate little cannon piece here. You can fold this up, and now this can kind of drive around on its own and be its own little drone shooting thing. Makes more sense in the robot mode, but right now you can make this into its own little vehicle that can drive around, or you can leave it in here and make it into a battle station, or you can put another figure in here and have it shooting on the battle station. It does have a little peg that you basically peg into the center here. All right, that's really it for that. Oh, you can also open up this entire thing and probably make more of a base out of it since it all opens up. But there you go for the trailer. Quite a few details and just features on it. I was surprised how much it does. But given the price point, I think they did need to do that. So if you get everything all pegged back in, you push this down back into here, get everything closed up. You can close up these and that'll peg together. Where aren't you pegging together? Oh, there we go. Okay. And like I mentioned earlier, mine pops open a little bit here. Now you can take this and slide. You can see there's a little tab slot there, and there's a tab down here. It's spring loaded. So you just want to be very careful because it is a painted surface, the yellow and orange. Once you get in there, you can kind of see that tab, and then you can push it up and in to that tab. You can see it locked in. It's not going anywhere. And it does roll really nicely. It is a very, very long trailer. Let me bring in some figures for comparison. And for size comparison, there is Rodimus next to the Earthrise Optimus Prime. And then for a masterpiece scale, here is the DX9 Carry. And here's where things kind of are weird for me. To be honest, I think this is way too big. Even with the trailer on Optimus, which I don't have handy, the Rodimus trailer is just absolutely gigantic. Even the vehicle on the front is bigger than this semi-truck. So I don't know, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And then you look next to Carry. Now Carry was always a small vehicle mode, but next to this it really just looks way too big. Now, before we get Rodimus transformed into robot mode, I just wanted to mention you can take the weapon and mount it up here if you like. You want to be careful with the paint there on the top. All this yellow, orange flames, that's all really looks nice, but it is paint, so you want to be careful with that paint. But that does look good. You can also take these blast effects if you want to and put them in there. And you can take the black blast effects that we had plugged in to his pipes here, and they will plug in up here. This is spring loaded, so it kind of moves out of the way, but you can put them up here too if you like. All right, go ahead and take the Rodimus out of here. You kind of want to pull it down first to get it untabbed, and then pull it forward. That'll avoid scratching this as much as possible. What you don't want to do is open up this trailer while you have this plugged in, because it'll scrape over the edge of this wing, which is sitting right here. So if you're going to open it, take this out first. All right, we'll set that aside. Here is the vehicle mode. Relatively fun transformation. Go ahead and take the weapons off if you have them mounted on there. We're going to unpeg this little red panel here out of the back here and fold that to the front and then tab it in. Same on this side. And tab that in. That'll allow you to unpeg this entire top piece, rotate that around, and leave that there for now. We can unpeg the arms here, so they're pegged in right here and to the side of the vehicle. Once you get that unpegged, you can kind of pull that away. Same on this side. Unpeg it from the side of the vehicle and then pull it down and away. It'll give us some room to work. You can unpeg this from here. It's just pegged in right here into that painted piece. Fold this around, rotate the head to the front. Take these two pieces and fold them into the bottom. Take this part here, that's going to fold up into the back. We are going to peg it in a little bit later. It might come out, so that's why I'm not going to put it in just yet. This black piece is going to go down, and the gray piece is going to peg into the side right there. So get that pegged in. Good push. So it should peg in like that. Same on this side. Push that down, and then peg it into the side. You can take these arms, rotate them upwards. All right, next we're going to go ahead and rotate here at the waist. Then pull this down, pull that back down. We're going to rotate the arms all the way around. Right, now I can pull this back up, pull this back up. This is going to peg in right here. You can see there's a little tab there. So you got to kind of give that a firm push so it gets stuck in like that. Then you're going to push the entire chest in. It's going to peg in just like that. You can take this back, and that's going to sit in here and peg in right there. So go ahead and get that peg in. And that's a really tight peg, so that gray peg is very tight. And then lastly, you're going to take these 3 black pieces, they're going to go into the back here. Right? So we'll leave the arms up for now. Now we'll take care of the legs, so you can unpeg the legs from each other. Go ahead and open up this panel. It's pegged into the wheel, so open the wheel a little bit and then pull out that panel, then pull the leg down. You're going to take this wheel, that's going to collapse into the red piece here, and fold this in. It's going to collapse inside the leg and sit out like that. Then take this piece, that's going to fold and peg into the side there. Open up the toe, and that's one leg done. Make sure you have the knee folded all the way forward as well. All right, same on the other side. Open up this panel, open up this panel, fold the leg down, fold the knee all the way forward, collapse the wheel, push that into the cavity here. It's on a double hinge here, so you can get it into there very easily. And then peg that in, open up the foot, and there's our legs are done. Fold the arms downwards. You can take this panel here, and that's going to open up this way. Flip this around, come to the bottom here, and rotate this panel down to the side, and then this is going to peg into the side of the arm, and then peg in here as well. So just make sure you get those 2 tabs in. Right, same on this arm. Go ahead and open up this panel, rotate this around, rotate this panel so it faces downwards, close the panel up, tab it into here, and then tab it into here. And the final steps here come to the side. You're going to open up this wheel. Now you can see the side that doesn't have a peg on it. You're going to open it up. You're going to collapse the wheel into the arm. And it can be a little tricky. And then tab it in to the side of the arm. And that's a neat little feature there. Same on this side. Open this up, peg it in. And then the last step here, take the chest and collapse that down into the body. And there is Rodimus Prime all transformed into his robot mode. And now you have a complete, good looking Rodimus. You have a lot of paint on here. Let's point that out. So same piece here that was painted in robot and vehicle mode is painted here. You do have the painted legs. All that orange you see is painted. There's a little bit of paint here as well in the crotch, that red right there. Coming to the back here, relatively clean. That same fin does look good with all that paint. I'm really surprised how much paint there is. Let's get in close on the head here. The head is a little bit odd for me. I like the blue eyes. I like the overall shape of the head and the paint that's on the head. But the face looks a little bit old to me. It's just a little too old. Like, he's supposed to look older. I understand that, you know, older than Hot Rod, but just is a little bit too old. I don't know. It's a little odd for me. You do have silver paint here on the shoulders. That looks nice. I like the way it transforms. The design is really cool. And it cleans up very well. Not much of a backpack considering what's in here. And same for the legs. The legs clean up very well. You do get a bunch of accessories. So you get his gun here. You can open up his hand and put that in there. You also get this sword, which you have to open up his hand all the way. And that'll fit in there. I don't remember him ever having a sword, but again, accessories because expensive. There you go. And you can use all the blast effects with these. I mean, you have a million, billion blast effects. If you want, you could put a big one. Let's see if it'll actually hold up with this gigantic one. Nope, it won't hold. Too heavy. So you got to use a smaller one. This is fine. This smaller one works just as well. You can port those in his feet, so if you want him flying for whatever reason, Even though he didn't really fly, you can have him flying like that. So you can use those blast effects for whatever you like. Me personally, I like to pose him with, this is dual handled gun. And there you go, Rodimus can dual wield his gun. And that looks nice. So whether you want it in one hand or two hands, works just fine. You can also store this in the backpack. So go ahead and fold this up like this. You can see that same peg is here, and you can store that there. If you want to store the sword, you can do the same. You can take that peg hole and open that up, and that can store there. You can also store the gun there if you want. I mean, there's different options, whatever you like. And one final accessory is the matrix. Of course, it wouldn't be Rodimus Prime without the matrix. Go ahead and pull this panel out and down, and you can see there is the matrix of leadership. You may need a spudger or something to get it unpegged from here. But it is basically exactly the same as the Optimus Prime one. You got a translucent blue there, the copper paint, and then the silver on the handles. It does peg in basically onto these tabs here. So if you close that back up, and you can bring his hands up, you can basically have him holding, and that's where these pointer fingers come into play. All right, there you have it with the blast effect installed. It does look really nice. It's very similar to the one you got with the Hot Rod figure, but it does look good, and I think it's nice that they included that. So let's go over his articulation. The head is on a movable neck, so the neck moves back to there, forward to there, and then the head itself can move. So you get a lot of movement out of this head. I was really surprised how much articulation they put into that. It does rotate all the way around. The shoulders rotate around on this joint, up on this joint as well. Of course, a little bit hindered by the mold, but every Rodimus does that. Double jointed elbow gets you the full bend. Rotation at the wrist, pretty much fully articulated finger. So the bottom three move together. Come on, give me your pointer finger. Then you can point the pointer finger. They do sometimes get stuck together. There you go, he can point, which is important for this character so he can lead his fellow Autobots. There you go. Continuing down, you have a rotation at the waist. No ab crunch, which is unfortunate given the price point on this guy, but no ab crunch. You have a rotation that works well. The legs go up to there, back to there, hindered right here at that point. There's a hip skirt there. It goes out to the side. Again, hindered because it hits this piece right here. Rotation at the thigh. Double jointed knee gets you the full bend all the way up to there. Ankle tilt all the way out to there. And pivot and toe tilt. I mean, everything you could want there on the toe. There's next to the Earthrise Optimus Prime. You can see they're basically the exact same size. Very similar dimension proportion overall. This is where it's interesting because the vehicle mode is way larger than the vehicle mode for Optimus, but then the robot mode is the same size. And that's because the trailer is sitting separately. But there you go. Rodimus can interact with his trailer here. Go ahead and open this up. And you can open this up too if you want to, just to make it look more like a base or whatever. Take this, and this is going to unpeg from here, fold upwards. Take the handles, those are going to fold backwards and up to the side like that. And there you go. There is Rodimus Prime shooting his trailer gun. So final thoughts on Rodimus Prime. I left him in this mode because I just think it looks cool. So let's start with the positives. I think the figure and the trailer are well painted and designed. There are very little kibble or waffles that you usually see on this line, the Kingdom line, or even the Earthrise line, and it looks really good. I think they did a good job on the design and engineering. The transformation is really fun and intuitive. I didn't actually need the instructions much. I kind of transformed it on my own, so that's a good thing. You do get a lot of accessories. You get all of these blast effects. You get his blaster here, which you can actually mount, which I didn't mention. You can mount that wherever you want to. You can also store this if you want to. You can open up the little tab there and then put this in wherever you like. So you can basically store everything in there if you wanted to. So you do get a lot of good accessories. I also think that the robot mode is probably one of the best Rodimus Primes we've gotten in the retail line. In fact, I think it is the best Rodimus Prime. But the price point is the negative. So at $85, this is nearly Masterpiece price. It just doesn't feel like you're getting your money's worth. I don't feel like it. I would have rather they took out all of this, even the sword, right? Take all this out, and maybe even this turret if they couldn't afford to do that, and just give me Rodimus and the trailer for a $50 leader class price point like they did with Optimus, right? This is actually a Voyager, but because of the trailer and the other stuff, it's more expensive. Now this is the Netflix version, but the Earthrise version, $50. That makes more sense since they're both the same size. They both come with a trailer. It really just doesn't feel like all these accessories really add up to that additional $35. Do I recommend it? Absolutely, I recommend it. It is the best version of the retail that we've gotten of Rodimus. So if you're collecting Kingdom or Earthrise or the entire thing, of course you're going to want this. It is the best looking version, and you got to have it in that collection. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.